Hello students, let us start our new session of chapter number 4, Motion in a Plane. Let's start with the example 4.8. A hiker stands on the edge of cliff 490 meter above the ground and throws a stone horizontally with an initial speed of 15 meter per second. Neglecting air resistance, find the time taken by the stone to reach the ground and the speed with which it hits the ground. So here we need to determine the time and the speed of that stone. Here x and y both the direction has been chosen. Initial time t equals to 0. At the time it's the coordinates x and y. Both the coordinates we have chosen positive as stone is moving upward side, so positive y direction, and the long range has been taken in the positive x direction. Accordingly, we are having that equation x of t equal to x0 plus v0 xt and y of t equal to y0 plus v0 yt plus 1/2 a by t square. As initial point at time t equals to 0, initial coordinate x0 and y0 equal to 0, v of y that is also 0, acceleration that is during the free fall, that is a gravitation due to acceleration, a equals to minus g, that is a minus 9.8 meter per second square. As the initial velocity in the x coordinate is given, vox equal to 15 meter per second. Stone hits the ground at the y range. Maximum height is given y of t equal to minus 490 meter. By replacing all the values, by substituting the y of t, v0x and t, we are having that equation time t equals to 10 seconds. Now, the velocity components in the horizontal direction is same, so vx equal to v0x and vy equal to v0y minus gt. v0x is given, v0y is 0. G is 9.8 meter per second square. T is now calculated 10 seconds. By substituting that values, we are having minus 98 meter per second. So the total speed of the stone V equal to under root of Vx square plus Vy square. Vx is given 15. So 15 square plus Vy we have calculated just before 98, so that is 98 square. So resultant value, the velocity we are having 99 meter per second. Next example, a cricket ball is thrown at a speed of 28 meter per second in a direction 30 degree above the horizontal. Calculate A, the maximum height, B, the time taken by the ball to return to the same level, C, the distance from the thrower to the point where the ball returns to the same level. So here three components are required to determine the maximum height, the required time, the distance covered. So we are having all the equations. Maximum height equation we are having v0 sin theta 0 square divided by 2g. Initial speed is given 28 meter per second. Angle theta is given 30 degree. G is 9.8 meter per second square. By substituting all the values, solve the one, and we are having maximum height 10 meter. Now time taken to return at the same level, that is a time of flight, Tf equal to twice Tm, that is a twice v0 sin theta 0 by g. Again by substituting the v0 initial velocity, theta and g value, solve the equation, and we are having time required 2.9 seconds. Now the third is required to determine a distance, that is a horizontal range. So horizontal range equation we are having v0 square sin 2 theta 0 by g. Again we are having all the given values v0, theta 0 and g. Substitute all the values and we are having r equal to 69 meter. Now let us understand the next topic, uniform circular motion. Object while choose a circular path. That circular path in which it can move with a constant speed, but at each and every point its direction is going to be changed. So uniform circular motion, it means object is taking a circular path with a constant speed throughout its motion. Here, let us define a velocity. It's a speed v within the radius r. Here, velocity is going to be changed as the direction is changed. Velocity having two components, speed and direction. Speed remains constant, but as the direction going to be changed, velocity is also changes. And as the velocity is changing, acceleration also going to change. So here, direction change, speed remains constant. Velocity is changing, according to that, acceleration is available. Let us understand this with the diagram. As here, initially the object is available at the position P. At that point, its velocity is defined with the tangent component v. Now, object is moving in a circular path and it is reached at position P dash. At that time, it is having the velocity v dash. From the center, the displacement vector of point P is r and displacement vector of P dash is r dash. Both are apart with the angle delta theta. So actual path has been, or actual displacement has been done by that object that is defined by the straight line between initial point and final point, which path has been taken by that object. Irrespective of that, straight line gives you the displacement, that is delta r. And if we want to define its velocity vector, velocity distance, so from the center line, keep the v component in the same direction with the magnitude from the point G, as you can see in the diagram A, and v dash component from the from the G point with the same magnitude and direction. So the difference we able to get it from the triangle method, delta v. Both vectors are apart at the angle delta theta. Now let us define a delta t tends to 0. So here, instantaneous range we able to get it while time t tends to 0. With that, position going to be reduced. So let us take a nearer point P dash, as you can see in the diagram B. With the same way, we able to get the delta r displacement between point P and P dash and the velocity difference delta v. Now if we are taking that the common point is available, that is delta t is 0. So at that point we are having the velocity component. In the opposite direction we are having the with the 90 degree with acceleration component. So change in the velocity will give you the acceleration. So here the average acceleration we are having delta v by delta t. By taking its absolute value, we are having absolute of delta v by delta t. To get its instant value, apply the limit delta t tends to 0. Now let us take the ratio of base length to side length from the triangle of the velocity vector to that other triangle. So we are having delta v by v equal to delta r by r with its absolute magnitude value. So magnitude of velocity delta v equals to v into delta r by capital R. This capital R is the radius of that circle. Apply the limit and give in the substitute in the acceleration equation. So acceleration equation we are having limit delta t tends to 0, delta v by delta t. Delta v is replaced by the above equation, v into delta r by capital R into delta t. So v, velocity divided by r, is a constant. Change in the time with respect to the position to which delta t time tends to 0, which is applied. If delta t is very much small, then arc is small, or we can say both are at the same position, that is a delta r equal to v delta t. So delta r by delta t, we are having an instant velocity v, which is replaced in that acceleration equation, that is the limit delta t tends to 0, delta r by delta t equals to v. So acceleration we are having v square by r. So for the centripetal acceleration, why the object is taken a circular path, at that time we are having acceleration v square by r, which is known as centripetal acceleration. Now, this acceleration of an object moving with the speed v in a circular path having a radius r, so its magnitude we are having v square by r, and it is directed towards the center. So that's why this acceleration is known as centripetal acceleration. V and r, the value is constant. The magnitude of acceleration is also remains constant, because v we are taking as a magnitude of the velocity. Magnitude of the velocity, that is the speed. So speed remains constant, so acceleration is also constant. And the direction is going to be changed, that is always pointing towards the center, and that's why acceleration A, the centripetal acceleration, is not a constant vector. Delta theta is the angular distance between two vectors that can be defined with the angular speed omega. Omega, that is equal to delta theta by delta t. Now, the total distance traveled by that object by its spherical surface, that is s. So velocity equal to delta s by delta t, and delta s equal to r delta theta. So substitute the value of delta s in velocity equation. We are having v equal to r delta theta divided by delta t, that is equal to r omega. So velocity equal to r omega. Velocity we are having in terms of angular speed. We can also represent acceleration, centripetal acceleration, in terms of angular speed, that AC we are having v square by r. Substitute the value of v from the above equation. So v square equal to omega square r square divided by r, that is equal to omega square into r. Now, the time is required by an object to move a complete one circular path, let us define as a time period t. So how many number of revolutions has been done within a 1 second, that can be defined as a frequency equal to 1 by t. So during that interval, the distance moved by the object, that s equal to 2 pi r. So velocity is s by t, that is equal to 2 pi r by t. 1 upon t can be frequency, so 2 pi r v. This v is for the velocity. Subject of the formula v is the velocity, and 2 pi r v, in that v is defined for the frequency. So omega equals to 2 pi v, that is a 2 pi frequency. Velocity v equal to 2 pi r, frequency v. Centripetal acceleration, that is 4 pi square. Substitute the omega equal to 2 pi v, so that is 4 pi square v square, that is a frequency square, into r. So this is how all this velocity and acceleration can be defined in terms of angular speed. Let us go through the example regarding the same. An insect trapped in a circular groove of radius 12 centimeter moves along the groove steadily and completes 7 revolutions in 100 seconds. What is the angular speed and the linear speed of the motion? Is the acceleration vector a constant vector? What is its magnitude? So here we need to determine its speed and acceleration. So here it is given radius r equal to 12 centimeter angular speed, we are having the equation omega equals to 2 pi f. Instead of f, we are having a given time t is 100 second. So let us denote it as a 2 pi by t. So here, in that 100 second, it completes a 7 rounds. Right? So that's 7 revolutions are completed in 100 seconds. So one revolution for that, how many time is required? 700 by 7. So time capital T equal to 100 by 7. So omega equal to 2 pi by T equal to 2 pi into 7 by 100. We are having the angular speed 0.44 radian per second. Now linear speed velocity v equal to omega into r. R is given, omega is just before calculated. Substitute its value. We are having linear speed 5.3 centimeter per second. Now, direction of velocity is along the tangent component of the circle at every point. This acceleration is directed towards the center of the circle. So the direction changes continuously, then acceleration is not a constant vector. To determine its magnitude, A equals to omega square into R. Omega we have calculated 0.44 second inverse. R is given 12 centimeter. Substitute its values. We are having acceleration is 2.3 centimeter per second square. Clear? Here we are going to end this session. With that, we are going to end this chapter. Hope you understood thoroughly. Thank you.